Enduring Enchantments brings a unique perspective on utilizing enchantments and getting added value from when they are sacrificed. And when it comes for sacrificing enchantments in a way other than simply reaching the final part of a saga, there are so many great cards that weren't included in the precon. One such card would be Teferi's Care, which for some reason does exactly what Aren's Sun's Aura does. This means that you can have both of these cards included in your deck, and they'll let you sack your enchantments with ease, with the added flavor of having the option to counter other enchantment spells. Then we have Faith Cleric, an almost forgotten rare from Urza's Saga. The sacrifice for life gain part works amazing for dumping your enchantments into the graveyard. Then there's Aura-Tog and Taumatog, with a rather underwhelming payoff for the sacrifice, but they also do the job. If instead of Anikthea you prefer Narci as your commander, an incredibly powerful addition would be Replenish. This is a reserved list card from Urza's Destiny, which for only 4 mana brings all of your enchantments back to the battlefield. Now for improving the mana base a little bit. Wild Growth is a classic mana ramping enchantment since the early days of Magic that was also reprinted recently in Dominaria Remastered. Then we have Overgrowth, which costs more to cast but gives double the mana. It was also reprinted recently in Jumpstart 2022. Eladamri's Vineyard brings that much needed mana to the table but also aids your opponents. In a 4-player game this gives you an advantage of being the player providing free mana, and it makes you less likely to be targeted early on. The way your deck is designed to sacrifice your own enchantments makes it easy to ditch the moment you have other mana sources set up. Next we have Aluren, and boy did the Tempest block have some of the most amazing green enchantments. Considering how many creatures in our deck cost 3 or fewer mana, this pricey reserved list card becomes a very useful tool. Argothian Enchantress wasn't included in the precon and is a solid choice for the deck because of her drawing you a card per enchantment cast. So is Nyx Bloom Ancient, especially because it's an enchantment creature but also because of tripling your mana. Hall of Heliod's Generosity is an excellent land to include in any enchantment-heavy deck and especially useful for Narci when reusing sagas. Speaking of sagas, Urza's Saga is another extremely useful land for this deck, as it can fetch you that Soul Ring and then gets automatically sacked. It's also worth mentioning that Commander Masters reprinted Smothering Tithe, so it might be a great chance to get one for this deck. If you feel like the deck is missing some big creatures, Nilia's Colossus can fix that and boosts up the smaller ones. As an enchantment creature, it stays on the battlefield after you cast Extinguish All Hope. There are also other cards which make advantage of creatures being enchantments. One such card is Greater Auramancy, which gives Shroud. A very nice quality of both the possible commanders in the precon is that they have black mana in their identity, which brings a lot of new possibilities compared to the usual white and green enchantment-oriented commanders that didn't have it. This means that you can add, for example, Black Market Connections to the deck, or the Meathook Massacre. Demonic Embrace might not seem like a lot, but it does have a way to bounce back from the graveyard. There is a lot of amazingly powerful black enchantments to choose from, whether for gaining card draw advantage like Phyrexian Arena for example, or anti-creature defense measures like No Mercy. Other classics include Underworld Dreams and Sanguine Bond. Be sure to like the video if you found it helpful, and if you have some other possible additions for the deck I didn't mention, the comment section is all yours for the discussion. Have a lovely day and catch you in another video.